Hi, my name is Dalton McPherson, Miracle Kid Champion. So, who are you and what are we doing?
So I am Rose Segbers. I'm the entomologist here at the aquarium. I take care of the butterfly garden, and today we're going to check out what I do every day.
So, what's an entomologist?
An entomologist is somebody who studies insects. Yep. Let's go ahead and check out the butterfly case. So here are some of the chrysalises we have. We also have some cocoons from atlas moths as well.
What are chrysalises?
So chrysalises are the pupa stage of a butterfly. It's the stage between them being a caterpillar and being an adult butterfly that can fly around. Pretty much what they do is they shed their skin and they hang out in this phase for a little while they start to develop wings and they start to get longer legs and they start to get a face. And once that's done, they pop out of their old skin like a shell, pump up their wings and go flying off into the garden looking for food.
So it's like the angsty teenager phase of butterflies.
A little bit, yeah.
They just lock themselves in the room.
Yep, they just hide out, listen to some music, chill out, and then when they're ready to come out, they come out.
What other life stages do the butterflies go through?
So butterflies and most insects that do something called complete metamorphosis, which is just a fancy way of saying insects that have a stage like this go through 4 major stages. They start out as an egg, and once they've hatched from the egg, they are a caterpillar, and a caterpillar's main job is just eat. They eat lots of leaves, and once they get big enough, they become one of these, and then finally, the end of their life is a butterfly. So 4 major life stages.
So, what's the difference between butterflies and moths?
That's a good question. They're both in the same order is what it's called Lepidoptera. Butterflies usually fly during the day. Butterflies have little balls on the top of their antenna, while moths tend to have either like long, thin antenna or like fluffy antenna. And butterflies will normally rest with their wings perched in the back of themselves instead of out. All those rules are made to be broken, but that's normally how you can tell the difference between a butterfly and a moth. Another thing you can tell is some moths will spin something called a cocoon before they go into their pupa stage. And they have that silk phase in order to like hide themselves from predators, that sort of thing. And they obviously don't need it. He's going to be just fine this way, but that is how he'd be in the wild. So I'm actually going to put him back. And that's another main difference between moths and butterflies. Not all moths do it, but silk moths do create this silk cocoon like this.
And what are antennae?
What antennae do is they kind of help them kind of sense and discover different things in the environment. There are sensory appendages like our eyes, like our ears, and what they do is they help them just kind of detect new things. They allow them to touch things, they allow them to detect like wind speed, that sort of thing.
So it's basically all of our senses in one thing.
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of just boiled down into a very singular like point. They can't see anything with them. They have their own very special eyes for that, but it is like a very intense sort of touch is what it is.
So why do you like butterflies?
I like butterflies because they do so many different things for our environment. When they're caterpillars, they break down plants when they poop them out. They also pollinate, so they spread pollen between individual plants, which helps them reproduce, and they just do a ton of great stuff for our environment.
So this is called the butterfly garden. Do you grow the butterflies here?
So we do not. This exhibit is actually very tightly regulated just because these guys are technically plant pests and we don't want to introduce them into our environment. So what we do is we import them just like they are in this phase. They come in a big box, usually from Costa Rica, but we do import from some other countries as well. And what I do is every Thursday afternoon I unbox them, check them them out, make sure that they all look good, they all look ready to go, and I glue them up on these plexiglass boards. And once they are all ready to go and they are fully emerged from their chrysalis, I put them in a box and I take them into the garden where they spend the rest of their lives. They do not breed in there. Butterflies need specific plants in order to breed, and since we're not allowed to breed them, we don't plant any of those plants in there. In the wild, when they would first emerge, they would usually take a quick breather just to kind of pump up their wings, get their face put together, which comes out in 4 parts. It's kind of incredible. And then they would fly off. So I kind of simulate that in the exhibit by putting them in this box and letting them hang out until I start seeing them flying around, which they look like they're starting to do right now.
So they just kind of come out of the cocoon and have the instructions to put themselves together?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy how they do it. Every insect's mouth has 4 parts to it, and butterflies are no different. But since their mouth is so different, they have that proboscis, that drinking straw mouth. What they have to do is they have to kind of push the parts of that together when they're first out of the chrysalis and kind of assemble it for themselves.
So what's a proboscis?
So a proboscis is a butterfly's mouth parts. What it does is it allows them to suck any nectar out of the plants, and that's actually how they pollinate flowers. What they do is when they have that proboscis, that drinking straw mouth in there, they will suck up any nectar that they encounter, and while they're doing that, pollen will get all over their faces and all over their bodies, and they'll fly off, and that pollen will get on another flower when they visit that flower in order to drink nectar as well.
So the proboscis is the bendy straw thing you
Yep.
see on them?
Yep, that's the bendy straw, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you said they're flying around. Are they ready to be released into the garden?
Yep, they're ready to go, so let's go ahead and head out and release them.
Can I carry the box?
Sure.
So you just pick it up. Why is it super hot in here?
Because that keeps the butterflies flying around. Most of these butterflies are from tropical countries, so this is the environment that's most comfortable for them, and this is the environment that encourages them to fly around and get some food.
So it's just for them to fly around and look pretty, basically?
Yeah, to keep them flying around and looking good.
So I just open.
You ready to go? Oh, yeah. All you need to do is just open up.
How do I do that? Wait.
So if you just press, just like that, and you should be able to flip the top up.
Some of them don't want to leave the box.
That's really normal. What you can do is you can either turn the box upside down, or you can just give it a quick shake.
Wait.
Up. There we go.
Oh, one's on my pants.
Oh, that
now.
guy likes you.
Yay. Okay. The rest don't want to be in the box.
Come here, buddy.
Why won't you leave the box?
There's usually a couple quick stragglers in there.
Oh, so you just...
Yeah,
poke
I
them?
just give him a poke.
That one really doesn't want to leave the box.
Come on, buddy.
Just leave the box.
There
It's a
we
box,
go.
dude. You got all this
There
plants
we
to enjoy. Finally, they left the box. And we just closed the box and now we have new butterflies. Yay.
Yay, they are all flying around, ready to go.
Yeah, so why do butterflies even land on humans?
So there are a couple of reasons why they do it. A lot of butterflies really gravitate toward the taste of salt. So what they'll do is if you're in here, you'll start to sweat a little bit. So they'll land on you just to see if that salty taste is something they want to drink. And sometimes they decide that's exactly what they want to do. They'll open up that drinking straw mouth, that proboscis, and they'll take a drink from your skin if they want to.
So they just drink our sweat.
Yep, they will drink your sweat.
Nice.
If you let them.
So how many butterflies do you normally keep in here?
So we normally keep about between 1,000 and 1,500 butterflies in here. Whether or not they're super active depends on the time of day, temperature, humidity level, and even how many people are in here. But there are definitely 1,000 butterflies in here. Sometimes during some parts of the day, this room turns into kind of a scavenger hunt, and you need to look on the underside of leaves in order to find them, like this guy right here.
Oh, so why do they have different patterns on them?
So they have different patterns for different environments. Some butterflies blend in areas that are more like brownish, and some butterflies even want to stand out for different reasons. Like monarchs want to stand out. They want to be that bright orange color because that tells any predators they might find in the wild, like any birds or anything, that they don't taste very good and it'll make you sick, so they don't get eaten a lot in the wild.
So some have really bright colors to tell the predators, don't eat me.
Yep. And some have very dark colors in order to hide from predators better. And some even have eye spots on them, like this owl butterfly here, in order to kind of scare predators away, to make themselves look like something bigger and scarier than the predator itself.
So they just kind of pretend to be something else?
Yep, pretty much. They pretend to be something else.
Identity crisis.
Yes, a little bit.
What's your favorite kind of butterfly?
Probably the malachite butterfly, just because they're so interesting. They're the bright green butterflies we have in here. I like them for a bunch of reasons. They eat more than anything else in the garden. They can nectar, they can eat rotting fruit, which a lot of butterflies like to do. And they're also a very, very common sweat drinking butterfly.
So how many kinds of butterflies are there?
In the world, I believe it is more than 1,000, much more than 1,000.
That's a lot of butterflies.
For sure. Yeah, there's even more moths. I think probably 10 times as many moths. Not even all the moths in the world have been discovered yet.
Thanks for showing me around the butterfly garden, and hope I get to see you again soon.
Yeah, see you again soon. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.